Hey y'all, I missed you guys. I need to fix this. I missed you guys. Hi,
How
how you doing?
Good, thanks. Thank you for having me. It's
Of
great
course.
to meet you.
Oh, I'm glad you were able to join. Hold on, let me. I always give
So,
people.
I reached out to you because I saw that you were looking for people, and I apologize. I've only seen like bits and pieces and clips. So,
No need, no need. I'm super, super excited to have you, and I'm glad that you even reached out. Like, what you're doing is amazing. So let's tell the world about it. So, hey everyone, welcome back. I missed you guys last week, but I'm back. We're ready. Great guest. We are having a guest today who has been dealing with something, well, was dealing with something that's physically and mentally challenging. So, and you're hoping to bring awareness to it. So, please
yeah,
introduce yourself, honey.
yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Musakula Massapoy. I am a two-time breast cancer survivor. So I was diagnosed with my first breast cancer in my right breast in 2011. And I had a mastectomy. I basically had them remove the breast, the tissue, and they were not going to remove the nipple, but luckily they did. When they did the test, they found out that there was Paget's disease in the nipple, and that is another form of cancer that's predominantly in females that's just found in the nipple. So had I not had that removed, there would have been more cancer still there. And then fast forward 2018, although they said to me this wouldn't happen again by 2018, they had to take the left breast as well for the same reason. It was just, there wasn't Paget's disease, but the cancer that they said that wouldn't spread or wouldn't do anything was also found in the left breast. So I had another mastectomy, and by the grace of God, I've been cancer free since 2018.
This is such a touching story, and so real and so raw, you know? And let's just backtrack here. So, like 2011, you are going to the doctors and, they tell you this heartbreaking news. So, bring me to that moment. And
Um, so it started off actually where they were sending me to different, I was feeling, okay, let me back up. I have two daughters. At the time, I only had two daughters, and my youngest daughter was 8. And I started feeling sharp pains in my breast. And I was like, this doesn't feel right because I breastfed them both. And it felt like, when you breastfeed and your milk ducts get full, there's a feeling that the breast goes through. And I started feeling that way. And I said, well, something's not right. So I went to my primary care physician.
mhm.
And she said, well, let me send you for some testing. So they sent me to have a mammogram. Nothing was seen in the mammogram. Then they sent me to have an ultrasound. Didn't see anything in the ultrasound. Then they sent me to have what's called a needle guided biopsy. And the place that they sent me to, they tried to do it with me standing up. And, the physician said, I can't do this because it's too close to your rib cage. So we're going to have to send you to another place. So they actually sent me to a hospital where they like put me in a machine, um, and had to hang me upside down in the machine and did the testing. And they were like, well, something's there. We just don't know what it is. In the interim of everything that was happening, it was like, okay, God, what am I going to do? Okay, God, how are we going to get through this? Okay. Just conversations in my mind with God, just having faith that, okay, this is something. I try my best not to freak out about things. I don't like to put too much weight on anything because we don't know how things are going to turn out at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So when something happens, it's like, okay, let's take this step by step and see where this is going to take us. So, when the doctor said there's something there, okay, I said, all right, they tested it. They sent it to my primary care physician. Then they sent me to go see her. This was days before Thanksgiving, a few days before Thanksgiving,
Wow.
2011. And she was like, she came in, her eyes were just bloodshot red. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, she was crying and she just started sniffling. She did a sniffle and she said, okay, it's cancer. And I was like, okay. I was by myself. So one of the things that I advise to people that I've been speaking to from that point on is anytime you have any kind of possible diagnosis, never go alone. Because after she said that, it was like that, that loud, that ringing that's in your ears and that kind of drowns everything out. That was the experience that I had. And I was there by myself. I did ask a friend to go with me, and the friend didn't show up. I was like, oh, I thought you said, and I was just like, you know what? It's all right. All right. I went through this by myself, and not by myself. I went through this with God, so I'm good. It was definitely a different experience for me. And from then on out, it was just a lot of, actually, I hopped on a bus to New York to go hang out with my family, my best friends, my best girlfriends. I just said, listen, I'm going through some things. Hopped on the bus, went and hung out for a few days in Brooklyn, came back home, and then I waited until after Thanksgiving to break the news to the family because I just didn't want to.
Ruin the spirit.
No, yeah, that for me, I mean, it's they yelled at me for it, but I was just like, listen, I wanted y'all to enjoy. I didn't want to, like you said, ruin the spirit. And they said, no, you can't do that. You can't go through this, and you can't, they beat me up for it. But I was like, you just have to, unless you're in that position, you won't know how it feels to not want to break some bad news to people during a time where we're supposed to be celebrating and enjoying each other's company and time.
Your story is so impactful just because, breast cancer is more common than you think. We all know someone, that has gone through breast cancer and the statistics of them making it out, because the first thing people think is like, am I going to survive this? And thankfully you have survived it not once, but twice. And, and through it all, you have come about with something that's very unique, which is listen to your body. Let's talk about that and how you came about doing that.
So I come from the world of fashion, and I was modeling for so many designers in the Boston, Massachusetts area. We went up and down the East Coast, yes, up and down the East Coast. A lot of students from Mass College of Art, they graduated and they went on to do their careers in other places. They were like, hey, you did this show for me while we were in school, but can you? So I was steeped and enjoyed every bit of it. But, and also, I come from an athletic background. My father was an Olympic runner in the late 60s. And, all of the statistics that came with, breastfeeding your children, you won't get breast cancer. If you eat healthy, if you do certain things, you won't get breast cancer. There's no family history. They said, you won't get it. You won't get it. And I was like, listen, none of these statistics, I'm the anomaly. None of these statistics, they didn't, none of the statistics were me.
Yeah.
And I still got it. And so, when I created Listen to Your Body, it was first to say to the other models, listen, I would love for you guys to, I want you guys to know what I went through. And I need you guys to listen to your body, because when I discovered my diagnoses, I was at stage 0 both times. And again, I put that all to God because, some people call it innate sixth sense or, You know, I had this feeling, or they call it, everybody has a different name of what they call it. I call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it just the Spirit, my spirit God, my angel, whatever the case may be. We all have one.
Yeah.
And some of us tap into it and some of us don't. I feel like in 2020, a lot of us were able to like just sit quietly and silently and hear all the voices that tell us, okay, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. And that's where I came with listen to your body. I was like, yeah, so my body was telling me, you know, the spirit was telling me, Holy Spirit was telling me, something's going on. Yeah, you might want to go and check that out. You might. And even the second time, I was literally on the beach at Martha's Vineyard, and I was just like, okay. I didn't feel anything. It was more like, you might want to just go, just you know, just go get checked out. And so that was where I came up with listen to your bodies. Like your body is always gonna, you've been in that body for all of your life, however old you are. And you always have to listen to what's going on. If you feel something that doesn't feel right, what you should do is go and get it checked out, because prevention is far better than having to treat somebody for something that can be worse off. Oftentimes in the community, we get sick, and we've had relatives that have gotten sick and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to say anything. And
Yeah.
it's like the more, for me, the more I've talked about it, the more other people are like, you know what? I was ignoring this and I was ignoring that. And a lot of us, you know, when you have a job, they take out tons of money from your paycheck for you to have this insurance. You're paying all this money for the health insurance. You may as well go and get that annual check. Just make sure everything is running right, things are well aligned and in place. So I've just been speaking to the community, speaking to other survivors, you know, coaching and talking through, praying with people, just to say, okay, listen, you have this one body. Like, do you want to survive in this body? Do you want to survive in a happy, healthy situation in this body? Or do you want to just let this body dwindle away? Listen to your body. So that's that's basically it from over in a nutshell.
And you know, I really do like this organization because I remember being in middle school, right? And we used to buy these I Heart Booby bracelets. And it was to bring awareness to breast cancer. But the thing is, what we lack is education. It's like we were wearing the things, but not knowing what was really going on. And it's organization like yourself that help bring awareness to what's really happening and why we need to know what we need to know. And even if it doesn't impact you, the knowledge that you have, you can share with others. And I appreciate that. So at the time of what you were going through, did you have support system or networks or movements that brought you awareness, or do you feel like, you know, listen to your body just was something that, you know, needed to be out?
So my support system. So I'm an only girl. I have five brothers, and my support system became my sister friends that I had gained in the world of fashion. So my shout outs and my love to Miriam and Jennifer and Julia and everybody that just stepped up to help me through my processes, Betty and you know, my sister Vashti and Alberta and Cassandra actually went with me. Cassandra Takeda, she went with me to one of my visits, and I love my sister with all my heart for doing that, because I needed people physically to be there with me. Cassandra and Jennifer were the two that supported me physically through what I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, when I started looking for resources, there were no resources that I was pointed to. And in the journey that I've been getting others to listen to their body, I found resources. And I said, well, is it just because I'm a woman of color that I'm not getting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this information? Because I spoke to others. So there were, where I worked at the time, I think there were five other women that had also been diagnosed. They were older women. Four of them were Caucasian and one was African American. And they each actually spoke a little bit to me. But the biggest thing that I got from all of them is they don't look like what they've been through. And, you know, the TV kind of makes you scared about this whole thing. Oh my gosh, you're going to look a certain way. And these women, you would never tell that they had been through it. They're walking, talking, dressed beautifully. You know, every day they go to work, and it was like, this never happened to me. You would have never known. So, you know, they were the image for me to say, okay, this is what it can look like. But then they also shared what information that they had received. For the African American woman, there was a family history, and they told her from the beginning, take them both, get it out of the way, and live your life. That wasn't something that was told to me. Some of the
Wow.
other women, they were given like, oh, they were given physical therapy, they were offered different kinds of things. And another thing that wasn't, they didn't tell me, I didn't learn until 2020 that having had breast cancer is a disability. So if you have a disability, then you can get services for free and not have to pay lots of money for the services. I would have to pay upwards of $800 just to have an MRI with
Wow.
this great insurance from this great job that I've been working for how many decades. And, you know, I still had to come out of my pocket to pay for these things that I didn't realize until later. So these are all things that I learned along the way that you know, survivors should know. So as I go along and I speak to people, I'm like, okay, these are the questions that you ask when they tell you there could be something there. These are the questions that you ask that when they, you know, at different steps, just the steps that I've gone through. And I've also spoken to other professionals, other doctors who've also who've either gone through it or know and have studied more about it to just make sure that the resources that I didn't get, people that I come in contact with receive those resources.
You know, Black health is so like not looked at, you know, and in all aspects. And, you know, it's sad to even hear, even in, you know, having breast cancer, it's still not, it's still not being looked at. So kudos to you. That is really helping the community. And, you know, let's talk about some of the events that you curated during Listen to Your Body.
So I've had ever since I've had a fundraiser every year up until 2020 from the time that I was diagnosed. So I've done fashion. My first one was a fashion show fundraiser because that was the, you know, the world that I'd been living on. I think the second one was arts. I love arts and music. So I had musicians, singers, poets, what I call the boo blogs, where people would talk about different experiences when it came to breast, both men and women. And then I did another fashion. You know, it just continued on. The event that I have coming up this coming Saturday is going to be a Listen to Your Body sweat party.
Oh,
Basically, I love to dance. And so I know lots of dance instructors. So Shaumba Dabinga of Shape Up Shaumba is going to be stretching us in the beginning. And then Ms. Rhythm, Angie Dickerson, is going to be giving us a line dance in the middle. And at the end, Ms. 5678 Chanel is going to be giving us some Afro-Caribbean dances. They're going to each give us a half hour of dance and just to raise money for breast cancer awareness, breast cancer survivors. So what I did in 2020 is I created a therapy group where I had enlisted a therapist, a licensed therapist, to do virtual groups with us. And, you know, we've been from 2020 up until this year, we've been each other's support system to get through whatever it was that we were going through. We unfortunately lost one of our members, and much love to the Bailey and Boyd family. We
wow.
loved and dearly cared for Yolanda, and we miss her light. But she was a survivor who just shined light everywhere that she went. And, you know, we miss her dearly. We send our love and our respect to her family.
So I want this to be a full circle moment to you. And I want you to talk to the Musu who is the organizer of Listen to Your Body versus the younger 2011 and 2018 you. What would you say to her?
I would say live every moment to the fullest. Do not take, do not take life for granted, and be present. Be present for your family. Like that was the one thing. Like I don't feel that I was present enough because I was so focused on work, get this work done, and make sure that I have the roof over their head, and make sure that they have food on the table, and make sure that this is done and that is done and that is done. And there were some areas that I missed, that my daughters are like, yeah, we wanted to do this thing, and we didn't get to do this thing. So as a parent, I feel a little guilty, but they were forgiving and understanding, knowing that okay, mommy's in this place. It's different for all of us. How do we support her twice? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just continuing and listen to your body always, but don't take things for granted, and enjoy. Do more to enjoy the life that you're living. Enjoy the body that you're living and take care of it.
That was a great way to wrap up. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the community. Please share how people can continue to follow what you're doing and keep up with you.
Yes, thank you. So Listen to Your Body October, well, OCT at Listen to Your Body October. You can find me on Instagram. We are currently working on the website. We've been working on the website since 2020, but we are a 501c3 certified organization, and working on the website. So Listen to Your Body Incorporated is the organization, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we hope to soon have the website up and running very soon.
Thank you so much for being on Value Talk Show and really sharing the story. It really, really, like, it's such a soft, raw conversation to have. So, like, I appreciate what you're doing. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of what's happening. And good luck on Saturday. If I was in the Boston area, I would have totally came.
I know we would love to have you, but thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you taking the time to allow me on your platform. Please keep me posted, and I will be looking out for other things that you are doing. But thank you for supporting.
Definitely. See you later. Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah.